Okay, we are now live on YouTube.
Great, thank you. Okay, it is 10:03, and so we'll start the meeting, say 10:03 for the December 8th DRC meeting. Items on the agenda today include 6 plat phases within the Foothill Village Boulevard. Plat J, Plat O, Plat P, Plat R, and R2 are going to be platted separately. However, the infrastructure will be constructed at the same time for those 2 phases. Plat Z, and then Mcmullen Commercial properties. So kind of a quick rundown of the agenda. And those in attendance for the DRC, because this will be due to COVID concerns, a lot will be conducted remotely. So we'll have representing administration, Norm Beagley, representing community development, Jason Bond. Fire is Taylor Sutherland. Representing police is Rod Hurst. Jason Calloway is in the room with us, representing public works, and I'll be representing engineering. So first item on the agenda. Let's see, we had a few people that's come in. We've added everyone, it looks like. So the first few items on the agenda are for the Foothill development, as I said. So we'll just kind of confirm that we've got Curtis Levitt and Sean Herring representing that project. Are they able to hear and work?
I just admitted them, John, so there'll be a minute.
Great, thank you. Sean and Curtis, can you hear us?
I can hear you. This is Sean. How's it going?
Great, thank you, Sean.
Sorry, I was muted.
I'm here as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll get going. First item on the agenda is Plat J. It's the next, let's see, what is it? You got about 18 or so lots associated with this one. They give kind of an idea of where this is located. Right now, it's directly west of the kind of the loop road that they've constructed on the south portion of the project. So this is a continuation going east, kind of east southeast on the project. So that's where kind of where we're looking at, where it's going. So we'll kind of work on through there. It's kind of a quick background of it. All within the same pressure zone, all those type of items. So we'll start going around the room. I guess literal Zoom room, I guess I should say. Starting with Taylor Sutherland with fire. Do you have any comments or thoughts on this one?
I don't have anything for this one.
Okay, thank you. Chief Hurst.
Negative, I don't have anything.
Jason Bond with, well, I'll come back to you, Jason. Sorry. Norm with administration.
I don't have anything, John.
Okay. Jason Calloway, do you have any comments or?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Jason Bond, do you have anything?
No, I don't, John.
Okay. Quick run through on some of the engineering comments, just a couple of things on the plat that we kind of need to clarify. A little look that needed to be specifically listed and called out for when it comes to there. There you go.
Shannon, do you remember that?
Utility wise, fairly straightforward and clean, relatively.
So if you hear Lori scream and yell and something. But next week you really don't have anything, right?
Okay. Kind of run through it real quick. So a couple things on the plan and profile. We've got kind of disparaging in slopes. It's not much I recognize, but there's some differences in slope there. So that would need to be just verified that those slopes match, because if there's any real change in slope, those would need to be a manhole would need to be placed there. So similar comment on the next sheet. We are missing details on a pipe slope, the sewer pipe slope between two manholes. And those are pretty much engineering comments on this, except for a detail update a little bit, matches more our standard drawing CG2A. So, so those are all the engineering comments that we have on this one. And it also includes some, apologize about that. And yeah, those are pretty much the major comments on here. Any other thoughts, questions from anyone in the DRC?
Hey, John, could you go back to the first page on that one?
So the plat sheet, this is the cover page.
Well, sorry, could you go to the one that you originally had up?
Yes. That would be this one. That's the plat sheet right there, Jason.
Okay, I just was looking based on the proximity where you're at. It looks like there should be a trail that's on there.
So you go to the trail is up along Foothill Village Boulevard. The trail along Foothill Village
Let's see, we've
Boulevard.
got it listed as Foothill Village Boulevard, but it's also listed as 260 West. Is that a discrepancy that needs
Yeah,
to be?
that's a that note needs to be moved off of there.
Okay, and I don't see the trail on there. That's fine because it's going to be public right away. But I don't know if we want to make mention or point out that trail or make a comment that there is a trail along Foothill Village Boulevard on the most northeast portion of that plat.
Do you want it on the? Because I know it is located on the site plan. Or the
Yeah, and I remember we looked at it there, but I just noticed that it wasn't on the plat. And I don't know if we need to mention that or if it's just.
It doesn't need to be mentioned on the plat as long as it's public right of way, like John's indicated, it will take care of that.
Yep.
Just
Okay.
like part of the right of way there.
Yep. Any other thoughts? Questions? If
John,
not,
I'll make a motion that we approve the final plat for Foothill Plat J with the conditions that the engineering red lines be addressed.
Thank you. Okay, I've got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Jason Calloway seconds. Okay, is there any discussion on that? Okay, if not, we'll go with a vote, starting with fire with Taylor. Sorry, Taylor, I think we missed you. Did you? Sorry, Taylor. One more try.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Taylor's votes yes. Go with Chief Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, from Chief Hurst. Go down to Norm with the administration.
Aye.
Jason with community development.
Aye.
Jason Calloway. Already voted aye. And engineering, aye. Okay, motion passes. And we'll move on to the next item. Well, again, with all these, Sean and Curtis, all these, we will send these red lines over to you. So you'll have them. So
Thank you.
moving to the next item on the agenda is Foothill Village Plateau. Again, this is just a little bit further south and east of Plat J. The next phase there to get that in. A little bit of background on this one. It's similar with P. So due to our code and the distances between, they need to provide 2 points of access to 4J. After they get past J. So O and P have to be built concurrently so that they have appropriate water line looping as well as traffic circulation. So just keep that in the back of your mind with Plat O and Plat P as we go through those, that those two do need to be built concurrently. Okay, with that kind of that background, very similar thing. They're just next couple phases that they'd like to get started on. So moving, moving south and east from what they currently built. So with that said, we'll go around the DRC, starting with Taylor with fire. Do you have any comments?
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. Nothing from fire. Chief Hurst with police.
I don't have anything.
Thank you. Norm with administration.
Yeah, just one thing on this one and Plat P for Sean, if you'll show where the pressure zone boundary is that has to do with the booster pump station for Plat D as in dog. We'll want to see that and make sure that none of these lots are affected that way, Sean, please.
Not a problem.
Okay.
That's
Thanks,
all I have.
Norm.
That's it.
Jason Bond. Sorry, Jason. I'll come back to you. Jason
I don't have
Calloway,
anything.
Public Works. Nothing from Public Works. Okay, Jason. Sorry.
I don't have anything.
Okay. From an engineering perspective, again, kind of echoing what Norm said, just so that we're clear on that. There's a couple items on the plat that need to be looked at. Some of the distances and bearings don't quite line up. And the curves appear like there's same curve through there. So just a couple of cleanup items along there. Yeah, this is just the note that Norm had mentioned, is making sure that these lots here aren't affected by what would be needing with the Foothill Plat D as in dog booster pump station. So another note is we'll need some sort of a temporary PI drain out to the temporary storm drain pond located here so that we can drain our system and not have those PI lines freeze up. And we're missing a valve on the culinary line going north on the intersection. And this sheet is off-site utilities that they would need to run to be able to service the few of the lots within the lower portion of the project. So there is some off-site sewer water that would need to be installed with this phase to get the appropriate water line looping, etc. And then one item we've got with the temporary storm drain pond here, Sean, we will need to have some calculations showing the size of that. It's appropriate to accommodate whatever storm drain would be contributing to that pond there. So we do have an overall storm drain report associated with it, but my recollection is that temporary pond's not included in there.
Correct.
I need some calculation on that one.
All right. Thank you.
And again, some adjustment of labels. Again, slopes don't quite match between the two. And that is most of the engineering comments on the project. So is there any other items? Any thoughts or questions on this one? If not, I would look for a motion.
Well, I make a motion that we approve Foothill Village subdivision plat O with the condition that the engineering and planning and zoning red lines are addressed.
Do we want to specifically include the plat P be built concurrently, or? I know that's a no, but
That's part of the red lines, right? It's on the top of the red line, so that's
it is.
a
Okay.
no. We can add to both of those plats, so I think that keeps us addressed there.
Okay. Okay, I've got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second, John.
Hey, that was you, Jason Bond?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, with that, we'll go to a vote, starting with Taylor with fire.
Aye.
Chief first.
Aye.
Move to Norm with administration. Aye, thank you. Jason Bond
Aye.
and Jason Calloway.
Aye.
And me with engineering. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Move to the next one on the next item on the agenda. If I can get to it, apologize. Got a Zoom box in the way. Okay. Next item on the agenda is phase P. Again, similar background as with O, to kind of give you an idea of where this is overall here. This is plat C is kind of the far east that Foothill Village Boulevard is constructed to, as it continues heading to the east there. So this plat P does include a park located in there that will be dedicated to the city with the recordation of the plat. So with that said, we'll kind of roll through that background, kind of go around DRC. Taylor.
I don't have anything.
Thank you. Chief Hurst.
I don't have anything.
Thank you. Norm with administration.
I don't have anything other than the note that I indicated before, those 4 lots or 6 lots, just making sure that we're not having any issue with need for the booster pump station on these plats.
Okay. Jason Calloway.
No.
Okay. Jason Bond.
Yeah, just to note, not really anything to bring up, but we're anticipating that DR Horton is going to what's the word? Improve the park with grass and some trees and stuff like that. There is the trail along Foothill Village Boulevard, which will be perpetuated. So we'll look at that, and it's not really a meandering, but it's going to have a little bit of deviation to make that a closer to meandering trail. But yeah, just a couple notes that we will have that park improved by DR Horton, and other than that, I got nothing.
Kind of build on that note just a little bit about the trail. There is a terminus or a place where that trail is intended to go, and that is up to the PI pond located further to the east. There is, as you get, it's kind of doesn't quite show up on this cover sheet, but right here there is the beginning of a trail corridor that does go up and connects to that fishery. It's also a PI storage pond. So
It's the Allen Park.
yeah, the Allen Park. Thank you.
I don't think most residents are going to care to go to the PI pond, but I think Allen Park will be more interesting.
It's all
PI ponds get engineers really excited, though.
I won't argue that. Okay. So we'll just kind of go through here real quick. Engineering red lines again. P and O have to be built concurrently. Couple just notes on the plat here itself on the Mylar to address, again, similar things, clean up. We did include part of the note here that says verify that these lots are be able to service off the lower pressure zone. One item though that needs to be, as Plat D starts to be constructed, it's from Plat D plans that were approved previously. The culinary water line going north and west will be basically disconnected at this intersection. And so at that point, these apparently, and Sean is verifying this, will be that these two lots here can be served off this lower pressure zone. If they can't, or that's being worked, then we'll have to verify, and these two lots may need to be lumped into Plat D. Something that will be looked at and verified once we understand exactly where that pressure zone line is.
And John, if I may for a second, I did just verify that, and that pressure zone, those lots will be okay in that lower pressure zone, and I'll show that on the plans, but it's basically, it's pretty much at that phase line. It's right on that phase line. So I think we'll be all right on all those lots there.
On this phase line heading this eastern phase line, is that correct?
Yeah, it almost parallels that phase line. I'll include that on the revision.
Okay, sounds good.
Sean, please also show on there any of the disconnect. John, you're kind of generalizing, which is fine, but the disconnect is really at that phase line is where the line will disconnect and the booster pump station will head southeast from there.
Correct.
So Sean, you want to show that, make sure you note that accurately on there.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just a couple of notes. It does show existing laterals. Our records don't show those laterals being in, so that'll just need to be verified on those. Okay. Again, just continuation of that note discussing that phase line here and this disconnect as we start to construct these phases up here that are right next to that pressure line break. Some label cleanup through some of these, and then that should be it from engineering, other than the update to that curve. So. Is there any other thoughts, comments, questions?
Hey, John, just a comment. This one obviously has a little bit more red lines from engineering. I'd kind of look to you to see if you feel good about this moving forward, just as kind of a reminder to Sean and really everybody, all applicants, is that this is a final plan. So we'd love to see the plans a little bit more cleaned up and polished to receive final approval. Obviously, we can grant a conditional approval with some little cleanup items here, but this has a little bit more to it. And really, I'd look to engineering to see if you're comfortable with it moving forward, or if we need to spend a little bit more time getting this final plan ready.
Well, as I said, the biggest concern from what Sean's indicated is that and that does seem accurate, as where that pressure line breaks is right through here at this intersection along this phase line. That's kind of the biggest item. If that, again, with that pressure line, if these two lots here, lot 318 and 319, I believe is what they are, if they're unable to be served from this lower pressure zone, then that would cause a little bit of work with boundary lines between Plat P and Plat D. But again, if that pressure line there is something we can review internally. So that's the biggest item on there for me. I don't necessarily see anything else holding it back, so.
And by saying that, in no way do I want to hold this up or delay it, because obviously it's just a lot of work to get it on another DRC agenda meeting. But with it being a final plan, it's just better to have these things addressed so that we're not conditionally approving it and then playing a game of hurting the cats of the red line comments. Make sure that they're all done. So if you're good with it, John, I'll make a motion that we approve Foothill Village subdivision final plat P with the condition that those engineering red lines be addressed, particularly the water service between plats P and D be addressed.
Okay. Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Taylor. Thank you. Any discussion on that, the motion? Okay, if not, we'll go to vote, starting with Taylor.
Aye.
Thank you. Chief Hurst,
Aye.
thank you. Norm with administration.
Aye.
Jason Calloway, Public Works.
Aye.
Jason Bond,
Aye.
and I from engineering. Okay, again, we'll forward those on to you, Sean. So we'll move to the next phase, which is Foothill Village Plat R and R and R2s. So again, this plat here is split between two recordable plats, and so it's split between the kind of the, for lack of a better term, the detached townhomes type units, the smaller units there with the common area, and then the single family homes that are along the eastern border of that project. So with that, their utilities need to be constructed to serve both of them. So the utilities would need to be installed regardless of which plat they're going to be doing. So with that one, this is also located on the very southern portion of Highland Drive, the frontage road that was just constructed this last year. So that'll kind of give you an idea of where this is at and where it'll be. So with that background, I'll go to Taylor with fire.
I don't have anything.
Chief Hurst, please.
Don't have anything.
To Norm with administration.
Yeah, so I'd echo Jason's comment on the previous plat on this one. There's quite a few red lines on this one that need to be addressed. So it may or may not be able to be conditionally approved depending on as we go through this.
Okay. Jason Calloway, you have anything?
No.
Jason Bond.
Yeah, so I guess really this comment applies to all the plats here in Foothill Village, but because this is a PUD, there are some general standards that need to be met in terms of landscaping and landscaping bond needing to be placed because landscaping is required up front, the look of the buildings, things like that. So just it's a good reminder to make sure that those things that aren't necessarily reviewed by say the Architectural Review Committee or by the DRC, but it does eventually get looked at through the building permit process. And so just a reminder about that and making sure that we're following the code.
Okay. We'll kind of roll through kind of the engineering comments on this. We'll get to the comment Norm was discussing a little bit, but just a couple labels need to be cleaned up through here. This note is about what Jason Bond was just discussing. And we do give the code reference for that. So you can look at that and review it. For the plat, there's some items we're running closure checks on these that need to be looked at and verified, labeling, distance and bearings through here. And the same thing on plat R2, some labels need to be adjusted and verified. So one of the bigger, I can't say necessarily bigger items, but one item is there's coming off to the south down here at the very dead end of this PI line, we will need to have some sort of drain that drops into the storm drain system because this is a low point in a lot of the PI system up here in this area. So a lot of water will make its way down to this point to drain out. So that will need to be addressed here and put a PI drain there. We don't want to drain through this 1-inch service. That would definitely come out and flood these homes here. So just a point on there. And then kind of the biggest question that from an engineering perspective is how is this retention pond that's going to take the water coming down through here and collect it, also from the Highland Drive as well, is how is this going to be graded coming out back behind these homes? There's a considerable drop between the private property associated with the homes and going down into the pond. So that's one item that needs to be clarified and how that's going to be graded out.
So Sean, with that, you may need to show a retaining wall of some sort just to show how at the property lines where this is going to be open space there where the retention pond is, and then the lots there around the townhomes, there may need to be some look at that as far as if there is a retaining wall that's needed. So we'll want you to address that.
Okay, and I'll check with Curtis as well that these could be walkouts similar to what we did above. So I'll check with them and adjust accordingly.
Yeah, you may need to label it that way just so that we understand how you're dealing with that.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's kind of we don't want to create a steep drop off coming out behind those homes. So, and just kind of a note, just to help with that is the gradings, the existing versus the proposed grading isn't necessarily clear. So we just kind of look at maybe do dash lines or something to help clean that up a little bit so we can see it a little better.
Hey, John.
Yes, sir.
Just as another comment and a note to the rest of the DRC members is part of this plat, since it's adjacent to the frontage road, there will be that concrete fence that's built along the frontage road along Highland Drive, along with the trail that will be meandering next to that fence. So that because this is adjacent to that, that will happen with this particular plat.
Well, the fence is actually already installed.
Right. Is it down that far now?
It is, yes.
So the fence is already in there. It'll just be perpetuating the trail, but that will be required with this plat because it is adjacent to that road. So just kind of an FYI to the public and to everybody else in this meeting.
Okay, thank you. And that's the main comments from engineering.
So
So
John, didn't we also need sizing and flows and retention on that pond, not just the grading aspect of it, but also the sizing of it? I don't think that's included in the storm drain report, is it?
that particular pond is, if I remember correctly, is that
Right.
accurate, Sean?
It is, yeah.
It was always contemplated with the construction of Highland Drive. So
So it's more the grading and everything that we're looking for on that to figure out how that's going to work with all the homes and everything.
that is correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other thoughts, questions?
Hey, John, it's Ryan.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I've been out helping somebody, but I don't know if this was brought up, but Randy Spatafora, our building official, couldn't make it to the meeting, But he wanted me to let everyone know, and Sean and Curtis, that there are addressing comments on all the plats. So we'll be sending those too, with the red lines on the plat. And then also, this is the only plat that I did have landscaping red lines. They're very minor, so I'll be sending those along with these construction drawing red lines too. So.
Thank you, Ryan. Okay, anything else? If not, I would look for a motion.
John, with the engineering on the pond there and being farther along than I had anticipated it was, and we had that in the storm drain report, I'd make a motion that we conditionally approve plat R and R2, the contingent with the red lines being addressed.
Okay. Jason Bond, real quick, do we need to have a separate motion for R and R2?
If they're listed as two separate agenda items, let's do two separate motions.
So I'll amend my motion to just be for plat R, John.
Okay, thank you. Okay, got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Jason Calloway seconds. Okay, any discussion on the motion? Not, we'll go through. Taylor,
Aye.
thank you. Chief Hurst,
Aye.
thank you. Let's see, Jason Calloway,
Aye.
thank you. Norm, administration,
Aye.
Jason Bond,
Aye.
and engineering is aye. Okay, motion passes unanimously. And so with that, I will also look for a motion for R2.
Don't move the same, John.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion is second, motion by Norm, second by Jason Bond. Any discussion? Not, we'll go to vote. Taylor, the fire.
Aye.
Thank you. Chief Hurst,
Aye.
thank you. Jason Calloway,
Aye.
Norm Beagley,
Aye.
Jason Bond.
Aye.
Thank you. And engineering is aye. Okay, that motion passed unanimously. Okay, the next item on the agenda is Foothill Village, Plat Z. To kind of give an idea of where this one is at. This is located on the north end of the project. Again, this is area that will include a common area surrounding these, the detached townhome type product. It does connect into the existing single family phase that's just north of 9th South, and it loops around a park associated with Plat Y that'll be there. So it ties between Plat W and Plat Y. Plat Y and Plat X and a portion of Z does flow north and connects into the future connection of Highland Drive as it makes it up into Canyon Road. So portion of the Plat Z would be in the same boat as Plat X and Plat Y. There is discussion with the property owner to would Highland Drive would go across, purchase that property, and to have get that road built. So that is still within the, it's on the horizon, it's in the discussion and the works to be done. At this point, it hasn't been completely finalized yet. So, but Plat Z, a good portion of it, maybe 3/4 of it, does flow down into Plat W for sewer in that regard. So with that said, kind of go through the DRC, starting with Taylor.
Anything?
Okay, thank you. Chief Hurst,
I don't have anything, thanks.
thank you. Norm, administration,
Nope, I don't have anything on this one. Thank you.
Jason Calloway. Okay. Jason Bond.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, we'll just kind of go through the engineering red lines here real quick. Again, just kind of the biggest point is that sewers that makes its way to the north. Plat X and Plat Y have received conditional final approval, just so that's understood. And a couple minor cleanup items on the plat. Utilities, pretty clean, no comments there. And those are pretty well it from engineering. So any other comments or questions? If not, I'd look for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the final plat Z for Foothill Village subdivision conditional upon the red lines being addressed.
Thank you. Motion from Norm. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Taylor. Any discussion on that? If not, we'll go to vote. Taylor?
Aye.
Chief Hurst?
Aye.
Norm?
Aye.
Jason Calloway?
Aye.
Jason Bond?
Aye.
Engineering is aye. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Again, Sean, we'll work on getting all these over to you. And so we can get those, start working these through the pipeline. So,
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
All right,
Have a
have a
great day.
thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the Mcmullen Commercial, and I believe I have representatives from there, Robert Mcmullen and Scott Peterson with Atlas. You guys able to hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Got a thumbs up from both of them, so thank you. Okay, we have kind of some history on this one. We have looked at this previously, the last, to kind of get some ideas. We have kind of taken it had a brief discussion with City Council regarding potential right-of-way dedication and vacation that need to be kind of cleaned up with this. Because current parcel lines have the extension of 9th East, which is this road here, that would extend and curve up and connect up to State Road 198. With this proposal, there's a request to vacate that property, that existing right-of-way, and realign that to the south so it would connect into State Road 198 a little bit further south. That has been discussed and looked at, and that's the direction that they've moved forward at this point in time. Again, these are commercial lots, and Stringham, to kind of give you an idea, Stringham is located down in the kind of the bottom, the southwest corner of the project. So with that history, we'll go around the DRC, starting with fire.
Have anything?
You, Chief Hurst?
I don't know if it's there or I just missed it, but I didn't see a stop sign where the, not Rainier Road, but the other one meets SR 198.
That's correct, Rod. I didn't see that either. So you're going to need to add that, Scott, to get us a stop sign down there.
It looks like there's one at the other intersection, but not that one.
Correct. I saw that same thing.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Norm, with the administration, you have anything?
Yeah, so a couple things on this, Scott. One is, well, not to Scott, but for the public and the DRC, this has been discussed with the city council, and the city council is willing to entertain vacating the old right-of-way and creating a new right-of-way, understanding that this is something that the property owner wants to do. It does fit with our master transportation plan, so there's no concerns that way. but just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. One of the things, Scott, is that up here where the old curvature of the road is, where this is either C2 or C7, I can't read it real good, C2, I think. There kind of becomes this no man's land where this, and I understand why, I think how you've done it, but lot number one really kind of creates a future no man's land, or even a remnant piece that's going to be really hard to maintain as far as landscaping and everything in that area right there, where it kind of comes down and pinches between where lot one would be and the future single family homes there on the east of that. So we would encourage you to look at maybe squaring off a little bit better and not doing that curve too, or doing something a little bit different there, so that we don't have this kind of no man's land in the future of what's going to, you know, it's going to be landscaping, is it going to be access, is it going to be whatever it's going to be. It really creates this no man's land right down there that I think really should be addressed now, so that it doesn't leave future lots on the remainder parcel. It's not a remnant parcel, but this could be a remnant piece that could just be the bane of everybody's existence in the future if it's not done properly here now.
Okay.
Anything else, Norm?
John, for now.
Okay. Jason Calloway, sorry.
I just remember when we built the booster station on the east side there, we had to run three-phase power, and that three-phase power came from down on 198. And I'm just not sure where it runs through these properties. It might be good to verify where that power runs through those properties.
Okay. So somewhere down here, there's a ground sleeve that we've come out of, and it's ran approximately along the north side of Stringhams, and ties up into here into 150 north. And is that in some, I'm assuming in a straight line? We don't know at this point. We don't remember. We just know that pipe was installed.
So Scott and Robert, we just don't want to have you platting lots that have power running right through where a building would go or something of that nature. That would be something that would be then the future property owners would have to deal with. It's better for us to understand where it goes now and have it corrected now if that's something that needs to be done.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if now would be the appropriate time. You talk about Stringhams. Kurt just talked to me a couple of weeks ago, and he would like, and I haven't even talked, I don't believe I've talked to Scott about this, but he would like to buy 50 feet to the north of his property from us, and then and he'd like to add 20 feet on the back. So I guess when this all gets finalized and settled, we'll figure that out to you, just so you're aware of what he'd like to do.
Well, if that's going to take place, in fact, one of my comments also is the access that Stringhams is using on your property, recognizing that it is your property, but it is an access for Stringhams. That's something that you'll probably want to take care of beforehand rather than platting lots. In our opinion, that's something that we would recommend that you take care of with a lot line adjustment before you plat lots, so that you're not then having to go back and amend a plat or something like that. If that's the case, we would recommend that you look at doing that now, Robert, and working with Scott and Kirk on that to make sure that it's taken care of in advance rather than after you plat lots. So knowing that, we would encourage you to address that up front.
Very good. We'll get it done.
Thank you for letting us know that. That's something that's helpful and for us to know. And then also it kind of addresses a little bit of the question of how does that affect, you know, the access that Stringham currently has, and that would affect it. So thank you. We'll wait to have.
Okay. Let's see, where am I? Jason Bond.
Yeah, so just looking at this, you know, John, as you introduced it, on the plans here, it lists 900 East as Rainier Road. do we want that named Rainier Road, or do we want to just keep it 900 East so that we have consistency with the name of that road? I would think we want to just keep it 900 East so it doesn't cause more confusion particularly for public safety.
So yeah, it does say, I know our standards allow for either named or street. I think it'd be, in my opinion, I think it'd be better to be named 900 East, just to be consistent with what's further south.
Okay.
There would be a break at Main Street that you could do that on, but
Right.
I think it's always been anticipated that'd be 9th East.
Yeah, I don't know if Chief Hurst or Taylor Sutherland have any comments on that, but that was just something that I noticed, that we've changed the name of 900 East for just that short portion.
My preference would be 900 East.
Okay, and then the only other thing I was going to say, John, and this is really just kind of another comment, just as a point of clarification. So as you can see, in lieu of traditional sidewalk, they're showing a perpetuation of the meandering trail along SR 198. They also have the trail on the north side of 150 North, and then that'll connect to the trail that is partially, actually, there's not really much of it that's built right now, but it's in the master plan to have a trail along the east side of 900 East, or as they have it listed on the plans, Rainier Road. So along with that trail portion on the east side of 900 East, because it's next to those, the rear side of those single family lots, that there is the requirement to have fencing between residential and commercial. So we have that note there for you, and there's various fencing types that you can consider, but just to kind of help paint the picture and illustrate what this area will look like. Those are some things that I think are worth pointing out.
Thank you.
So, well, help me understand why across the street that I'm required to put in a fence there. Is that in your code? Is that, what's the story there? And then along with that question, most of those lots already have fencing there. Anyway, so help me understand that.
Yeah, so if they already have fencing there, then that should take care of the requirement, as long as it's the appropriate fencing type. And the fencing types are in the code that we referenced in the red line. So basically, because there's a road there, it does make it feel a little bit different, but our code does require that anytime there's commercial abutting residential, that there be some sort of fencing delineation. Now, that road does provide that buffer. There is a trail there as well. I think part of it too is we just want to maintain, or not maintain, but prevent people from accessing the rear of the lot and crossing that trail corridor. So yeah, that's what we look at. But if there is existing fencing there, then that is something that we can work with you on, and we just need to make sure that we have at least the segments filled in, the empty portions of that fence line filled in. It'd be ideal to have consistent fencing so it looks nice there, but obviously we can work with you on that and make sure that we have a good transition from the commercial to the residential.
So Robert, to answer your question further, yes, this is a commercial development. Even though the road is a road, it is part of this commercial, your commercial subdivision. It's part of the commercial zoning, and because of that, that's why the fence is required per code.
Okay, and I still have an issue with 900 East, because you guys can't guarantee me that that's eventually going to happen. Is there any way we can work? And I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know what's going to happen to the south if you're going to require those guys to put that road in.
Well, it is in our master plan, so it is going to be put in. When that Maverick portion of the property was developed, it wasn't done at this time. So it is in our master plan that it would happen. However, we don't have the crystal ball of knowing when that's going to be done. Obviously private property depends on when they take the next step forward to develop that. So it is anticipated to be connected there to Main Street, and that's primarily why we'd want it to be 900 East, just so that it connects with the 900 East and makes it a little bit easier for public safety to follow.
Okay, well, I have no problem with the 900 East designation. That's fine. I just hate to spend all that money to put that road in, and yeah, maybe 10, I don't, if it's 10 years down the road, that's fine. That's not a problem. But if it gets to the point where that, that developer goes in and says, hey, we don't need that road, or the city decides to do something else, I've wasted quite a bit of money to just put that road in there, and curb and gutter and all that other stuff. So just my thoughts.
And if we weren't planning on that road going through there to Main Street, we would not require you to do what you're doing. But that's our intention, and that's what the transportation master plan shows, is that we need to have that road provide that connectivity to Main Street. So yeah, that is the plan moving forward. Is when that property to the south of you, the Maverick property, further develops, that will require that road be pushed through.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
So we'll work through just some of the engineering comments on here. There's some planning ones we've already discussed, kind of the trail or the access for Stringhams. Again, this is along a UDOT facility, so UDOT approval will be needed at that point to be able to get their connection. I believe there already has been discussion with them, but we'll need written approval from UDOT on there.
So Scott, along with that, I'm it's not required right now, but I am interested in seeing your slopes coming into that road on 150 North. That's going to be a challenge to hit all those grades and everything there. So I'm just curious. Again, it's not required at this time, but I am curious to see what kind of slopes you're going to be able to bring in there when you bring that road in with the final set of plans.
Okay, and we have talked to UDOT, but like I said, this is preliminary. They're okay with the location if we're abandoning the other one. And then, like you said, the way the UDOT application process goes, we get preliminary from you and we'll submit our final plans to both you and UDOT, understanding we'll get a access permit before we get final plat approval.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Thank you.
So kind of a couple of the items here. Just to note, the gas line enclosure, that gas enclosure in this parcel here, there's just some cleanup verification of that valve. I'm not quite sure why there'd be a valve there. That valve may be an old gas valve. I don't know, something needs to be kind of looked at and verified here. Then one item is that currently our records show this is an existing 8-inch PI line. That would need to be, since that's being disconnected and we're relocating that PI line within 150 North to connect into State Road 198, that would have to be a similar 8-inch line to keep up on that. So I have to replace that with the same size. Label for the 10-foot meandering trail, just some notes on there that would need to be included. Striping plan. And then just as Jason discussed, the fencing there along the trail as it goes between the residential and the commercial. So there may need separate typicals associated with those. Okay, and that's covered most of those comments associated with strings. We've discussed it. This is a preliminary approval, so it has not yet gone. I know kind of a conceptual idea of it and the discussion of the right of way has gone to city council as we discussed. But right now, this is a preliminary application. So at this point in time, it would be a recommendation given by the DRC prior to going to planning commission and city council for overall preliminary approval. So at this point, that's the motion that we'd be looking for. So is there any other questions thoughts, discussion items?
John,
Yes, sir.
I would assume that I should get my deal done with Kurt Stringham before this goes any further. How should we handle that?
That's what I was going to recommend as well, Robert. I was going to recommend that we table it for now. Scott can address the majority of the red lines while you're working on stuff with Kirk, and then bring it back. Again, by doing what you're doing with Kirk, it's going to belabor the process and lengthen it out even more if we try to approve something now. So I would at this point make a motion to table. Again, I think Scott can address the majority of the red lines, and then you work out whatever you're going to work out with Kirk, and then go from there as far as the resubmittal on that, so that we can come back and take a look at it with those property line changes that you're contemplating.
So do you want to, just for clarification, table until the property line adjustment is taken care of, or till
Yes.
that line?
I believe that they can take care of this, Scott. I believe you can take care of this through property line, through boundary line agreements there, or lot line adjustments is probably the better term. And then you can bring your survey and plat and everything back that way. You're not, by doing that, Robert, you're not creating any new lots or parcels. You're just adjusting lot lines, which is something that the city code allows. And you can get that done prior to any subdivision planning or anything of that nature.
Okay, so I've got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion table and second. Is there any discussion on it? Not, we'll go around the table, starting with Taylor with fire.
Taylor had to leave.
Oh, he did? Okay. So Chief first. Have Chief Hurst still here?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Norm?
Aye.
Jason Calloway?
Aye.
Jason Bond?
Aye.
And engineering is aye. So the motion has been tabled. Scott and Robert will send these red lines to you, so you can have them. Then as soon as you've got that boundary line agreement and these comments addressed, taken care of, go ahead and resubmit, and we'll get it scheduled for another review for DRC. So
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Yeah,
your
thank
help.
Okay, bye-bye.
And then the next item on the agenda is the 2021 regular meeting schedule for the DRC. Now, this, just some background, this is to help provide clarification and set a distinct set DRC meeting agendas for out 2021. Included on there is also indicating, especially during this time of year with the holidays, with November, December, that there's typically only one regularly scheduled DRC meeting for that. Again, this is just a regular meeting schedule associated with that. Is there any other thought or questions on that? Jason, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, it's pretty straightforward. It's just because this is a formal public body. We just want to give as much, transparency and expectation for those that are interested in attending and submitting applications to be on the DRC. So it's pretty straightforward. We haven't done it in the past, and we probably should. So this will just set a regular meeting schedule, and rather than just saying, it'll happen second and fourth Tuesdays of each month. This lays it out a little bit clearer. So with that, I'll make a motion that we approve the 2021 regular meeting schedule for the Development Review Committee of Santaquin City.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second, John.
Okay, thank you. Second by Norm. Any discussion? If not, I'd look, all those will go for a vote. Sorry, already got a motion. Starting with Chief Hurst.
Aye.
Norm?
Aye.
Jason Bond?
Aye.
Jason Calloway?
Aye.
And I from engineering. So, okay, motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the meeting minutes for the October 27th and November 10th DRC meetings.
Motion to approve.
The October 27th were ready, the November 10th need to be tabled.
The November, did you hear that? No, October 27th was done, November 10th, we're not ready yet.
Okay,
that
so
November
27th, motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion to approve on October 27th. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Jason Calloway. All those in favor, start with Chief Hurst,
Aye.
Jason Bond,
Aye.
Jason Calloway,
Aye.
Norm,
Aye.
an aye from engineering. I miss anyone? Okay, so motion passes. So another motion for November 10th to be tabled.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Jason Bond. Any discussion? Not Chief Hurst,
Aye.
Jason Bond,
Aye.
Norm,
Aye.
Jason Calloway,
Aye.
and I from engineering. Okay. Motion was tabled, or the minutes were tabled. Okay, any other thing needs to be brought before the DRC today?
John, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion seconded. Chief Hurst,